PR Connections Radio presents. This episode of Thinking into Results is brought to you by Classy Communications PR and Advertising. Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and nonprofit organizations. They can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications is your solution for business success.
I guess you can be very successful without one, and probably some people do. But I would not have accomplished anywhere near what I have accomplished without a mentor. I have had a number of mentors, and my whole life has changed dramatically. I went from going nowhere to having a business that operates all over the world. If you want to win in a big way, you want to get a mentor. It's almost like getting a direct pipeline from their mind to your mind, where you're gaining all their wisdom, all their experience, and all the studying that they've done over a number of years. And like that, you get it all in a short period of time. Are mentors important? Well, I'm going to tell you, mentors literally changed the course of my life. Let's take a look at what thinking into results is and what it could do for you, how it came about. You see, my life had changed dramatically. I went from earning nothing to earning over $1 million a year. And I was sitting one day and I was thinking, how did all this happen? Do you know, I was reading Think and Grow Rich. I was studying Earl Nightingale's material. But a lot of people have read those books and studied Earl's material. And they weren't accomplishing what I was accomplishing. So I had to ask myself, what am I doing so different? You see, I had been raised to believe if you're going to earn a lot of money, you've got to be really smart. I was earning over $1 million a year, and I didn't think I was that bright. I was also raised to believe if you don't go to school, you can't win. Well, I hadn't gone to school. I went to high school for about 2 months. I didn't have a good job. I owned the entire company. If you want to be happy, healthy, and prosperous, it's all here. Thinking into results is going to show you how to get it. If what I've said really triggered something in your mind and you're thinking maybe, contact the certified PGI consultant, hit the button, leave the information, do yourself a favor, sit down and talk to them about what this program can do for you. This very well could be the decision that will change the rest of your life.
Welcome. Thank you, Bob. This is Sid Maestre and my partner, John Gage. And we're going to get to the root of thinking in the results. But first, I want to give a little shout out to our sponsor, bringing us this program, S&J Mentoring. And our motto is, if you can tell us what you want, we can show you how to get it. We're not going to tell you how to get it. We're going to show you. And we've got an exciting show today. We're going to talk about what does it mean, thinking into results. Well, on the surface, well, just change your thinking, change your results. Well, there's a lot going into that change. And one of the things is identifying self-examination. What are the things I'm not doing that I've been told to do in order to achieve success? And I was thinking about this today. If you don't follow the plan, Bob talked with a mentor, it's laid out all the steps you have to take, and you look and say, well, I don't want to do that one. And you're not even saying, I don't want to do it. Your subconscious is saying they don't want to do it. So you're going to skip it. Don't get your results. A lot of people don't want to write it down. You got to write down your goal. You got to read out loud every day, giving information into your subconscious. If you don't want to write it down, you don't want to speak in front of the mirror. You're embarrassed to speak in front of the mirror with emotion. I call it with passion and unbridled enthusiasm.
Maybe some people are just afraid of talking in front of an audience.
Oh,
it's one.
That's great, John. I'm going to turn this over to John in a moment, but we were talking earlier how I like to tell stories. Now, like I said, well, my age, I've been around a long time and I've got a lot of stories, but this one you'll love. This was years ago. A friend of mine was enrolled into a Dale Carnegie class, which is about public speaking. And everybody that was at that first meeting, and there could have been 20, 30 people, their employers paid for it, every one of them. And they went around the room and introduced themselves and what company they're with. Well, my buddy that was there tells me later, there were two guys that could not do that. They ended up standing in the back of the room looking at the wall, and that was the way they introduced themselves. So they say the greatest fear, John, you probably heard this, the greatest fear of an American adult is speaking in front of other people. But fortunately, you and I don't have that problem.
I was going to say, I don't suffer from that.
No. Well, John, today you've got quite a story about changing your thinking. So I'm going to turn the cord over to you and
Okay.
do your thing.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So, thinking into results is an idea that most people don't understand. I know we've talked about it for several weeks now. So how long have we been doing this? About a year and a half? Is that what we figured out? I think we're on.
Well, we're having so much fun.
This is like episode 6 of season 5 or something like that. So we've been doing it a day or two. But you have to ask yourself, what does it look like to change how you think? You know, and what is thinking, Sid? You mentioned something about a series of habits. What does that mean?
Use an expression, your paradigm.
Yes.
If you're not familiar with this term, your paradigm, or you've heard of it, unsure of what does it really mean. And the definition we use is it's a collection of habitual habits, whether you're thinking or your actions, that it's a subconscious programming, and the foundation of that is what you grew up with. We talk about your DNA from your family heritage, but you've got your parents, you got your family, you got your minister, you got your teachers, you got your coach when you played sports. Everyone is making an impact on you when you're really young. It's just coming into your subconscious as a foundation of how you view the world. And John, say a few words about the gatekeeper that we have.
Oh, you're talking about the conscious mind being the
Yes, sir.
The gatekeeper to the subconscious mind. This is a true story. You know, and what Sid is saying there is our habits are like you get up in the morning, you do whatever you're going to do, you sit down. So you have a set habit that you do, and everybody does this. Then you sit down, you have your coffee, you have your breakfast, whatever it may be. You're getting ready for work in whatever fashion you choose, and you get up and you go to work. So this is a paradigm. This is a group of habits that kind of dictate a little bit who you are. And what thinking into results does is it shows you how to accomplish your goals. And one of the things we've discussed is how a goal should cause growth in some fashion. And I'm actually going to create a saying right now. If a goal doesn't cause growth, it isn't a goal, it's a habit.
John.
Yes, sir.
Well, finish. I wanted to add something.
Because if you're already doing something you know how to do, it's already a habit. If you want to buy a new car, you've already bought a new car. Even if that new car is a nicer car, you still know how to buy a car. Go ahead, Sid.
What came to mind about habits, behavior from being young, I can still remember when I was 8 or 9 years old, my father liked fried eggs. My mother liked scrambled eggs. My sister ate scrambled eggs. I don't know what happened after that, but I didn't eat scrambled eggs till I was 30. And I didn't even want to try them. Because in the old days, you got fed on an airplane. And I was hungry, and breakfast came, and there were scrambled eggs. So it was do or die. I've been eating scrambled ever since. I don't eat fried eggs anymore.
And see, I like both. So both were in my house, which was nice. But I do like both. But, these are all things that you grow up with. These are little habits that you learn, that your parents teach you. They teach you, well, I like this food, so you're going to like this food. And you end up liking it simply because you were told you like it. And sometimes these are really hard things to break. But it can be done. A lot of times it takes hitting rock bottom for this to happen. They say there's a couple of different ways to change your paradigm. One is an instantaneous, like 9/11, that changed a lot of people's thinking. The other is to gradually change it. I believe there's a third. If you hit rock bottom and you got to figure out a way to get back up. Well, I've been there. There was Sid was talking about my story, so I'm going to talk about it a little bit. In 2019, my life kind of got turned around a little bit, quite severely, actually. Things were going okay. Of course, I'd been doing thinking into results, doing air quotes. So I've been doing thinking into results since 2017, but hadn't really applied it, if that makes any sense, because, well, I was smarter than the thinking process. Let's just leave it at that, okay? But and I was fortunate that I had received this before what happened to me happened, but my life kind of fell apart severely. I found myself with, a credit score that dropped from 650 to 383. And that's the truth. To no fault of my own, but the person that created it had left. And when they left, they created this vacuum that caused a lot of issues. And I was very sick at the time. I was having heart problems, which I still have. But I figured out, well, anyhow, we'll get to that. So this goes along, and by 2022, I'm so ill and I'm so tired, I'm so sick because I allowed so much negative to affect who I was. My thinking was very poor. I kept thinking, well, whatever's bad is bound to happen. And sure enough, it did, because, I was right. We talk a lot on this program, Sid, don't we, about if you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, you can't. And it's the same thing is, if you believe that bad things are going to happen, guess what you're going to attract? And if you believe that good things are going to happen, guess what you're going to attract? See this smile? I earned this, but I worked for it. I'm the happiest I've ever been. And in 2022, we've talked about, how I got really ill, spent 2 months in the hospital. Doctors wanted to take my legs. They told me I was going to be on 9 liters of oxygen for the rest of my life. And those of you who are nurses know what that means. They told me I wouldn't be able, that I would need assistance walking for the rest of my life. Also, like a walker. I still use a cane sometimes, but most of the time I don't. I'm off the oxygen. But when I got out of the hospital and they told me that, I was sitting there going, I have two choices. I can allow this, allow, keywords. So listen to what I'm saying at the moment. I can allow this to ruin my life and take it, or I can not allow it to happen and decide that my life is going to be better because this is just a moment that will be gone. And at that moment is when I realized that thinking into results really needed to be applied. So I started applying the process of writing it down, making a decision that this is the goal. The plan may change, but the goal is going to stay the same. It's like driving that car. You don't look in front of the car for changes. You look in the distance. You chuckled, said, but you know I'm right.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because you've already seen those changes. If you're looking ahead, you've already seen the changes that are coming up. You know you're going to have to make them. I went from no money, no job, almost dying, to now I am happily married to the most beautiful woman on the planet. I am living a life that I never thought I would. In 2022, I would have never, and nobody, even including you, Sid, I promise, including you, would have never said that John's going to be spending $500,000 on a home in 3 years. As you can see, all my books are packed. We're packing. My beautiful wife just sent me a text and said, it says pending, so that's a good sign. But we are buying a home. And so we're getting ready to move. So eventually here in the next few weeks, all of this is going to change, everybody. It's going to look totally different. It's going to be in our new home. It's going to be coming from our new home, you know, in near the happiest place on earth. So, you know, we're looking forward to the move, but it was all how I did it. The first thing I had to decide is, well, I don't want to be on the oxygen because that's restrictive. I'm stuck to a cord. So how do I do that? I would sit down and I would think about it, and I'd be quiet and I'd be still, and I would, how do I get rid of the thinking? There's got to be a way. So I'm searching, I'm reading books. I find exercises to do. I still do those to this day. Guess what started getting me off of that? And then I found different exercises. And then I found people that said, well, you know, if you do this, this will make it even better. Then, okay, how do I have an income while I'm in this position? I found a way to earn an income and a decent income while I'm in this position. And as things are getting better, more opportunities open, obviously, because I'm getting physically stronger. But now I know that whatever gets in my path is just a plan change. And the reason I say that is we were about to close, you know, this last weekend on Friday, as a matter of fact. And the owner, the sellers, the people that we were buying the home from, they were in another country and there were some riots going on. And I knew about the riots, but I didn't realize they were close, wanted to back out of the contract. And I mean, this is the 11th hour. We're supposed to move this Saturday coming up. So we're supposed to move in 3 days from now. And the fact that these people's lives were in danger was something I couldn't live with. And it's something that my family couldn't live with. And we absolutely said, no problem. we were disappointed. Was it a downer? A little bit. You have the right to be upset. You have the right to go, man, I was really hoping to do this. But you know what the first words out of my mouth were, Sid?
Tell me.
Okay, we'll be there tomorrow at 10:30. How many homes can we look at? We already have the funding. We have everything we need. Let's go find a house. This was a plan change. And rather than dwell on the loss of something I was really looking forward to, I went, there's something better out there. And guess what we found the next day? Something better.
John, can I interrupt for a moment?
Absolutely. I was getting ready to turn it over to you anyway.
When John left out something else that was really key to letting go of the contract, they had some children, and they wanted to bring them back to the States where
they were safe.
And he was sharing with me a couple of days ago the background, and it's like it's a given, it's automatic. You let go of the contract, but you're dealing with the family, you're dealing with kids, and they're coming from a space that was very dangerous. The last thing I had my comment, my text when John texted me that they lost a deal in the house and have to go look for another one. And I said, "Lucky you, you're going to get the one behind door number 2."
Yep, that's exactly what you said, and you were right. We did. It was door number 2, and we found this beautiful home, and it's a country drive. So I get to see my cows and my wild turkeys, and I get to see whatever God chooses to put out in front of me when we're out driving, because it's a really pretty drive, and it's 20 minutes away from Disney World. And we never thought we would ever be there. And there's a big background for that, but this is what thinking will do. It will change how your conscious mind, how it filters what your subconscious is allowed to see. And I say it in that fashion because if we allow it to see everything, then it gets a jumble and there's a constant fighting. But if we're very diligent about how we do this and how we think and allow this process to happen, your mind reacts a lot quicker, number one. Number two, things don't bother you near as long. So you can vouch for this. I used to dwell on things for days. I was horrible. I have no qualms admitting that because it's the truth. But man, when you really learn how to strengthen your mind, which we were talking about this earlier, Sid, right? That your mind's a muscle. It's like your arms. Your arms don't get this big without working out. Your brain has to have the same thing. It needs to be fed. It needs to be fed good food, not bad food. We're getting close to time to close. Sid, do you have anything to add?
Yes. I hadn't thought about listening to you. And I'll explain.
I have a tendency to do that to you. I hadn't thought about that till you said something.
No, that's what's supposed to happen. Now you've got me explaining something else real quick. Like years ago, I was at a conference and the keynote speaker came out and he says, "It's not important what I say here today. What is important is what you think." It took me 5 years to figure that out. And I take copious notes when I'm doing Zooms and someone's teaching something because it's triggering new ideas in me. And the same with working with John. we have sort of an outline things we want to talk about. But I
And we
always
have to bullet point those notes because we get so many. It's like, okay, which ones do I want to talk about? So I have to bullet point which ones I want to discuss.
and have a little time where I can tell the story. But something I teach and what John demonstrated in action with the house, I pay attention to my thinking constantly. I'm paying attention to what I'm thinking, and I'm trusting the God thoughts. When I identify something that's new, I identify as a God thought, I describe it, I discern, I listen, I discern my God thoughts. I trust my discernment. And then with faith and courage, I take the action I'm compelled to do, whether I like it or not. If I like it, then that just strengthens me of doing something that worked out.
Right.
Gives me more confidence to go in that direction. But right now, I cannot not smile when I tell you how important, the importance of what I didn't like. Because with this training, it's, if I don't like it, that's only a fleeting thought, because now I'm going to think about it. Now I'm going to get a new perspective.
Right.
Now it can come out of my mind. It can come out of asking somebody for help, but we get a new perspective, look at something a different way. And that can give us an idea to move in that new direction,
Right.
to get what you want instead of what you didn't work. In John's example of, he gets notice, we call it bad news, house deal fell through. He wasn't crying or whining about it. He said, oh, well, there must be something better out there. And that's another expression, if something doesn't work out, God's got something better for you.
That is correct. And it does happen, you know. There's always something, things happen for a reason, you know, and whether you want to think it's a reason due to you or a reason due to God, or a reason due to the ether, to the infinite intelligence, it depends on how you look at this. None of them are in reality wrong. The facts are, you have to do the work. You have to sit back and you have to go, I am going to start filtering what's good into my mind and leave the negative out. Once you start doing that, I tell you what, when I got out of politics and stopped doing politics, it was pretty easy to ignore the negative, but it really does. And it starts getting easier to go, okay, what's good in this? Because you're training that muscle to do that. I'm about to close, Sid. Was there anything you wanted to add really quick, next 30 seconds?
Well, I want a minute and a half here. I just
Well,
want to
you don't have it, so.
No, they told us we'd go as long as we want. They didn't tell you, but they told me, and now the cat's out of the bag. I want to thank all our viewers, everybody that's been showing up every week.
Absolutely.
We have over 1,000 downloads from our show in 25 countries. So
It's awesome.
that was exciting news. I was going to share at the beginning, then I forgot about it. But our program, Thinking in the Results, changed our lives, and it can change your life.
And we just want to share it.
And if you go to snjmentoring.com, you can see what we're doing, and you can contact us and schedule a time for a discovery session. It has a value of $250. We're doing that for free to see if we can help you pinpoint or identify exactly what you really want.
Right. This is, yeah, it's where we learn about your unique goals, your unique situation, and it allows us to show you how to accomplish this.
Thank you, John. What are we doing next week? I think you told me what you were. Yes, I remember now.
Actually, yes, we are. Next week, you know, again, thank you for sharing your time with us. We really appreciate it. Please like and share and subscribe. It's always good. Next week, well, we're going to talk about be still and know that you can.
Thank you, John.
We talk a lot about if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can. Sid and I are going to talk about how to do that next week. Again, please visit our website, sj-mentoring.com, sj-mentoring.com, so we can show you how to accomplish your dreams. Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thank you, John. Next week.
Did you know your clothing could help balance your body's pH levels? Our cutting-edge fabric technology naturally promotes optimal pH balance, helping you feel energized, refreshed, and at your best every day. Use promo code PRTalk for more info. Tap the link in the description or contact our experts at 702-445-9488 to learn more.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.